Strive to do good and leave everything else to God. Yours is just to do good. Guys, are you trying to do good things? Yes, just do good and leave everything else to God. Yours is just to do good. Let me tell you guys, tenda mema enda zako. That is what it is said. Tenda mema enda zako. In Swahili, that means just do good and leave everything and go. And God is gonna do the rest. So yours is to tenda wema. So don't worry about things. Just do good. If your mind tells you this is a good thing to do, just do it. Don't worry about other things. Tenda mema enda zako. You can even help a beggar by the roadside. Do you even follow up to see whether that beggar used your money correctly? Do you even follow him to see whether he entered a bar to drink alcohol with that money? You just give the beggar and you walk. So let me tell you, when you do that and leave it unto God, God has a way of blessing you, because you have done your part. Don't worry what people are going to do or to say about you. Just do your part and go. Atenda mema enda zako. That is what it means. So I want to encourage everybody to just strive to do good. Strive to do good. Bless that person who doesn't have. Help that injured person. Hold that hand of a blind person and help him cross the streets. And let me tell you, when it comes to normal life, just do what is right. Leave everything else to God. Do what is right. Don't worry about other things. Just do what is right, what you know is right. And let me tell you, blessings will follow you until you'll even be. Don't even come back or turn back your head or to look back and see. Just do what you ought to do and live. And let me tell you, God has a way of blessing his people. God has a way of blessing his people who do good. You can never overgive God. You can never overgive God. God has everything. What do you have to give to God? In fact, whatever you do, you just do and live it just like that for God. Because God knows that you have given, you have done your part. So even in church, as we talk and say we are giving this money for the pastors to go and eat, let me tell you, just give your what do you call it? Your tithe. Is it a tithe? Yes, give your tithe. And also, give your offering. If you feel like doing it, just give it. Don't worry where it goes. Don't worry where it goes. Don't fuatilia. Don't follow it up. Just give and leave it. Because let me tell you, I usually say, and I usually sing this like a song, every knee shall kneel, and every tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. So if there are people who go consuming this money that we give in churches, it is not our business to know. You have already given. God will deal with them. So if you feel like giving that offering, just give it. Don't worry and don't bother where that money goes. And another thing, if you do something, let it not bother. You have already done it. I had a testimony about a guy who was very desperate and wanted to go to the US. And at one point, I don't know what church he belonged to. When he met a certain pastor, or I don't know whether he was in that church when it was announced that he gives everything that he has. And do you know, this guy went to the account and withdrew everything. I don't want to tell people to do that. No. But this person did it. He withdrew everything. He didn't even have the fare home. In fact, I was listening this on YouTube. He didn't even have the fare home. But let me tell you, before he left that church compound after the church service, he had met somebody who had bought him lunch and even given him the bus fare to go home. Remember, this is a person who had a lot of money in the account, and he gave it out. And he now started fighting himself like a fool and said, how did I even fall a fool like this? How did I even have to give out my money? And then I start lacking. But let me tell you, he went home, and I think there was an interview that he was waiting to be called, and he went. Let me surprise you guys. I'm not telling you a story about somebody else. I'm telling you a story and not about somebody that I know. It is something I was listening on YouTube. That even the time he later now was selected, and he went to the, not selected, he was shortlisted. He was invited for an interview at the American Embassy, and he was asked the first question that we all know: why do you want to go to America? This guy started narrating to that consular how he was brought up in problems. And he said many a times he slept hungry. And the consular was like looking at him. And he said, I made up my mind that one time I'll make a difference in my family's life. I'll go and study and come back and help my very family that has suffered with me so much. And that is why I want to go to America. He says, as he was speaking this, the consular started shedding tears. And he did not even ask for the bank statement, which he had gone with a bank statement that was reading 5,000 Kenya shillings. And I'm telling you, if you hear this story and you're the teller of this story, because I think I had it somewhere on YouTube, it is not that I'm telling you your story, telling your story. It is just that I'm encouraging somebody that if you feel like giving, give. Because this man left there, having been told to come for a visa after 3 days. Those days, I think they were asking people to come for visas at the back, to come back to the American embassy and pick their visas. And he was told to come back for visa. He ran out of the compound before the consular could change his mind. And I was like, oh my God, God can work miracles in somebody's life. Miracle working God. So I'm just imagining if this guy went home and told somebody, I gave everything that I had in charge, and that person would tell you, you're so stupid. Now where do you get money to travel? He tells us that even the air ticket, it was paid off by somebody that he did not, I think a person that he was speaking to from America. He's the one who sent him the ticket. God worked a miracle after another and after another. And I'm here telling you guys, the same God who works miracles for others still can work a miracle for you. And the same God who used to perform those miracles those days, he is still a miracle working God, and he can still perform a miracle for you. Why do you think he's unable to perform a miracle? So consult and your conscience. If it tells you give. If you're a person of faith and your conscience tells you give, just give and leave everything else to God. He has a way of paying back, and he has his people's back, because he loves all of us. So guys, there's this thing that is disturbing you. You don't know how to go about it, and you're like, oh my God, what will I do? And the little money that I have, I don't want to give, or this and that. I'm not a pastor, and I don't want you to give and go hungry in the night, and you start saying, okay, this person told me to give. And no, I'm saying I'm a person of faith. If you're a person of faith and you seek your conscience and you feel like, I have a will to do this in order to just commit everything to God, and I'm a person of faith. If you feel like giving in church, give. If you feel like trusting God in this and that, seek your conscience and do what your conscience tells you, because you are not a small kid. You are able to listen. But God has never let his people down. He will never let you down. He will never leave you nor forsake you. That is what the Bible says. So be blessed, people. This is Never HTV. If you could subscribe to this channel, it is free to subscribe. You'll have blessed this channel that gives people hope, and we are gonna continue giving people hope for the sake of tomorrow. Be blessed. Bye-bye. Subscribe.